Hello, everyone. I'm very, very quietly sorry for exactly shooting this late. I was actually busy walking Universe at the. I was actually busy giving my daughter some fresh air, known as Universe, who's actually quietly a dog. So I was actually giving her some fresh air in order for her to actually have some quietly a fresh air as well. As you quietly know, guys, we'll be able to upload the whole video of this episode today as well. But just for you guys to know, I was also busy writing new and old characters from the current book that I'm actually exactly doing as well today. So very, very quietly sorry for writing solely, truly late at this rate. But despite that, guys, for those of you who are actually watching shorts, you will receive the shorts of this video today. But for those of you who are actually watching the long video of Friday, you will receive it on Monday. But one more thing, guys, I'm truly grateful for your support in watching and in viewing my episodes. It truly, completely means a lot to me, as in literally means a lot to me. So may you all have a blessed weekend and may God protect you and bless you all in your goals and in your dreams as well, and be with you in everything else you do. And also, please like and subscribe as well. Also, pretty much means a lot to me. But despite that, guys, I still appreciate your support in viewing and watching my episodes. It completely means truly a lot to me, as in literally. So, God bless you all. On today's episode, we're to speak about Lord Clay, who is a former protege of the new Lord of Magic, known as Lord Jet, who decided himself to actually defect from Lord Jet's organization and from his new empire, and also formed and reassembled his own ancient group that has existed for many centuries and for many years, known as the Order of Death, which is a very powerful, greater secret society that is more dangerous and more highly active and more very powerful, with the common goal and with the common interest to create chaos and destruction and to annihilate the supernaturals, aliens, superhumans, and the Four-Nation Hunters and the Universal Heroes out of the way, meaning completely. He's a founder and the leader of the Order of Death, and he's been leading and guiding the Sacred Society organization for many centuries, and he's been highly keeping it functional and highly operational during the following centuries of his life. And he's also a member of the Shadow Clan that also quietly once existed in the sacred world for many centuries ago during ancient times, which is also quietly extinct and annihilated during the great sacred wars and conflicts that rained down by the action and by the command of the original Lord of Magic, who wanted the Shadow Clan to also to be extinct and to be annihilated because he feared their greater powers and their greater abilities as well. So let's get to it. In Lord Clay's early life, he was quietly born and raised into the Shadow Clan with Lord Bradley by his side, who was also quietly his brother. The both of them exactly witnessed their home sacred city of the Shadow Clan's of the sacred city of the sacred city of the great sacred world cities of the Shadow Clans of the Shadow Clan city of the Shadow Clan greater cities being destroyed and being ravaged by powerful, dark, and invincible greater magic users known as the Dark Druids and the Dark Witches and the Dark Faithful, who besieged the entire magical cities and planets with a dark magic under the orders of the original Lord of Magic, in order for them to wipe out the Shadow Clan's descendant and their species and their kinds for good. During at that time, Clay and Bradley and the rest of the Shadow Clan descendants were forced to scatter across the known worlds and across known villages, worlds, and planets in order to seek refuge. And during at that time, Clay exactly discovered that the original Lord of Magic was so powerful and so invincible that his immortality powers were exactly granted by a lifespan due to him being infused by unlimited greater power known as shadow energy, which granted him the power of immortality and the power of super strength and greater durability. During at this rate, Clay and Bradley began to study their greatest abilities and their power and their greater common abilities and their dark abilities and their powers, which discovered they can also create powerful dark greater illusions of their own by casting greater darker greater illusions of their own, and also one of their greatest invincibility. Over the following years and centuries, Clay and Bradley remained close as in close brothers ever before, as the two of them formed their own ancient secret societies within the war states, within the warring states of the sacred world's conflicts and wars, and the two of them became known as the Order of Death. Do you know exactly what they did at those ancient times and those centuries? Clay and Brackley created chaos and destruction, along with the few survivors of the descendants of the Shadow Clan and their followers, which in doing so helped the original Lord of Magic remain in power. In doing so, they created a total chaos and a destruction that benefited the Shadow Empire's destructive reign of conquering known worlds and magical planets and civilization in the process. In the shadows of the sacred world, it's where Clay and Brackley were highly operating from in full secrecy, where they're able to meet up with the few descendants of the Shadow Clan and the rest of their people to discover the leader of the Shadow Clan, known as Warlord Shadow, was quietly gone missing, and he highly mysteriously disappeared. Was never again seen again. Clay quietly believed that Warlord Shadow will still exactly reemerge, and he will still return with nothing but a powerful vengeance and a greater destruction in a greater taste of a vengeance against the Four Nation Hunters and against the allies of the Four Nation Hunters who benefited from the destruction of the Shadow Clan, and he's willing to wage war with all the sacred creatures of the supernaturals, aliens, and superhumans that live there by any means necessary. At that rate, Clay and Brackley managed to maintain their basis of operation for their secret organization and for their ancient secret organization to remain in full secrecy, where they continue to exactly expanding their rule and their dominion over vast warring states, ravaged worlds and planets and lands that have been destroyed during the raids of the sacred galactic wars and conflicts. At that time, Clay discovered his true plan and his true purpose and his goal with Brackley, where both of them decided it's best that they continue dispatching and sending invitations to powerful, greater, invincible, immortal criminals that lived throughout the sacred world and the sacred universe for centuries. With the invitations started going out throughout the descendants of the Dark Sisters and the descendants of the Mind Sisters and the descendants of the Mind Brothers, and as well as the descendants of the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders, and the descendants of the Sun Witches, and the descendants of the greater powerful members of the Lightning Clan and of the greater of the Lightning Clan and of the other members of the other familiar members of the greater of all the secret clans and all the secret clans and nations as well. Despite that, Clay and Brackley told the members of the organization that they'll be highly operating within the full shadows of the sacred world and within the full shadows of the sacred world for many centuries to come and for many more years to come, due to them being less powerful and less revered for their greater powers and for their greater abilities as well. The members of the organization and of the secret society completely agreed with Clay's greatest, smartest strategy and greatest techniques, that it's best for the organization to remain in the shadows and also to be keeping it in the shadows. But before Clay can easily disband his organization, he told the members of his organization to remain in close contact with one another, since each member possesses a unique talent and a unique greater ability, and some possess greater expertise and talents with their given powers and their abilities and their influence and their connections throughout the sacred criminal underworld and throughout the rest of sacred existence. And they all agree that they will do so to remain in contact with each member that will soon be spreading across the rest of the known universe. And the other members of the Order of Death completely agreed with Clay that the smartest move was for them to remain low and also to keep a head start. But despite that, the other members of the Order of Death completely congratulated Clay on his greatest achievement goal in creating chaos and destruction and havoc throughout the cosmos, stating to him that the original Lord of Magic has benefited from that chaos that is managed to making him remain in power and in control over the sacred galactic war against the Four Nation Hunters, with his greatest goal and his mission to annihilate and to destroy any obstacle that they oppose him. He will still remain in power. Clay exactly told the members of the Order of Death what he did was only just what he did was just to push a little bit of was just to push the scales of power a little bit closer to the original Little Magic, to make sure that his followers and the rest of his devoted dark, powerful magic users remain loyal to his also proteges, to his future proteges, and to his future heirs, or who will soon one day take control of the Shadow Empire, when that day will soon exactly come. During the following years and years have passed, Lord Jet, who will soon become known by as the new Lord of Magic, managed to completely recruit Lord Clay and Lord Bradley and the other proteges, and exactly welcoming him to his ranks of his new organization and his new ancient secret society that had lived and also been functional throughout the past few centuries and during the past few ancient times of the Sacred Galactic War. And he also quietly told Clay that he is well and destined to become the new Lord of Magic when the original Lord of Magic is fully passed away and is successfully gone. And that when he also dies, Clay will take over from his position and becoming the new Lord of Magic. And Clay was reluctantly pleased and very successfully happy that Lord Jet has gratefully seen his position and his place within his organization and his powers. For that following years, Jet exactly told his followers to continue training Clay and Bradley, and the other rest of his proteges will soon succeed him to becoming the next in line of the new Lord of Magic for when the time comes and everything else. And for that, his followers completely agreed that is exactly what they wanted to do. Over the following years and many more years, Clay and Bradley and the other proteges completely and the other powerful descendants of the Dark Sisters who will soon be ready to take up a huge responsibility. They will continue to be trained mercilessly about their powers and their greater abilities, and about their greater dark abilities, in understanding the full scope of their powers and their greater abilities over the following centuries, which made them more powerful and made them more greater than ever before. Clay and the other followers and the other proteges completely agreed that they are completely ready to fulfill their destiny one way or another, as they all successfully come to terms with that. On the 15th of March, Lord Jet exactly left his organization and the rest of his new empire under the control of his new protege known as Lord Clay, and he told Clay that the plans of the organization of the Order of Power are solely aligned with the original plans of the original Lord of Magic, meaning everything must go according to plan, the way it's intended to be, and that he has formed another powerful secretive alliance with another ancient secret society of a deadly shadowy organization known as the Order of Justice, that is completely founded and led by a powerful, mysterious ancient Four Nation hunter known as Zuko, who both of them were completely the proteges of the original Lord of Magic, which Jet exactly able to tell and inform Clay about the details of the full scope of the plan, that everything else is completely under his control and that he cannot jeopardize the plans or the goals of the organization. Clay exactly reassured Jet and the rest of his masters and the rest of the members of the Order of Power, then that is exactly what he's willing to do, to carry out the deed and the full plan of the Order of Power and the organization's goal and mission. And Jet exactly told Clay to never underestimate the Universal Hero's abilities in thwarting his operation and his goals. They are too powerful and are too dangerous to be taken lightly, and to never ever cross paths with them. Clay exactly was quietly reassured as he told Jet that he's well aware of the threat that they are completely facing, and he's been studying their greatest enemy for years and for years to come, and that he knows how well the Universal Heroes and the Intergalactic Coalition and the Four Nation Hunters now pose as a greater magnificent threat to his long-term plans and to his goals. After that, Jet and the rest of the members of the Order of Power begin entering the dark ancestral realm dimension in order to begin their full transformation to become highly evolved, ancient, dark, magical sacred beings with greater power and with greater more darker power, and with greater more infusion of shadow energy than ever before. Clay exactly took command of the organization of the Order of Power and the new Shadow Empire that's been reformed and reassembled from the shadows of the original Shadow Empire as well. On the 15th of April, Clay and the rest of the other Dark Sisters who completely exactly took control of the organization. Clay exactly told the members of his proteges and the rest of the other candidates of the organization that it's time for them to begin taking directive measures and drastic actions in order for them to further their plans and their goals. Meaning, in other words, it's time for them to begin the next phase of the plan once and for all. On the 20th of May, Clay and the rest of the members of the Order of and the proteges of the new Lord of Magic completely entered the central command of the asteroid base of the Intergalactic Coalition, where Clay completely explained his motives and his goals and his objective to the members of the Intergalactic Coalition, that the Order of Power is willing to do just that, as Clay and the Dark Sisters presented their power and their ability in destroying and decimating an entire beautiful magical world. Clay and the rest of the other operatives of the Order of Power begin exactly summoning the spirit monsters in order to inhabit the statues, in order to inhabit the ancient statues, in order to inhabit the monster statues, which have been used in order to wipe out the universal Earth heroes and the universal heroes in the process. And Clay exactly told the Dark Sisters and the rest of the other proteges that they plan successfully exactly taking place, and that everything else is going accordingly the way it's intended to be. Meaning phase 1 is being completed and destroying the other worlds and planets has begun its actual course of action as well. On the 22nd of June, Clay exactly held up a video conference with the members of the Order, with the proteges of the Lord of Magic, where he completely congratulated the Shadow Empire Warlord and Commander for his bravery, work, and his assistance. And he told him that the proteges of the Lord of Magic are completely successfully happy with the full scope of the plan, and that everything else is going according to plan, the way it's intended to be. On the 15th of July, the Lord Clay completely secretly convened with the proteges of the new Lord of Magic, where they all exactly begin convening to discuss their possible plans and their goals, about their greater plans and their goals and the successful mission. And in their greatest campaigning, stated to them that their plans and their goals may have jeopardized the long-term plan and mission of the new Lord of Magic's goals and top priority in him taking control of the sacred world, and the rest of sacred existence. Clay exactly reassured the rest of the proteges that everything is going according to plan, the way it has to be, without any further interruptions as well. On the 16th of August, Lord Clay and Lord Bradley completely met up with the Shadow Empire Warlord in one of their secret bases of operation, where the Shadow Empire Warlord exactly told him that the Intergalactic Coalition has managed to apprehend many Shadow Empire warlords and commanders, and they remain victorious due to the intervention of the World Heroes and of the United Heroes, who completely work together to overthrow the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders from attacking the world and from destroying it in a process. Despite this, Clay was not successfully happy that the plans and preparations have been severely damaged, and have been severely damaged, and everything else is ruined and completely destroyed from the very top of the bottom, and that he realizes that he's in greater danger and in mortal danger than ever before. Clay exactly told the Shadow Empire Warlord it's time for a bit of retaliation against the Intergalactic Coalition once and for all, and he's discovered a way in order to put an end to them once and for all. On the 9th of September, Lord Clay and the rest of the proteges and the rest of the new Lord of Magic's proteges began their full attack on the Intergalactic Coalition's worlds and planets by launching a full-scale invasion on the other worlds. The Intergalactic Coalition's forces and of the Four-Nation Hunters completely worked together in order to stop the dangerous enemies' attacks on their worlds and planets, and completely apprehended several enemies and super criminals and warlords and commanders and mercenaries who were quietly sent in order to wipe them out and completely destroy them in a process that was not looking good for Clay and for his goal and true purpose, goal, and plans as well. On the 15th of September, Lord Jet and the members of the Order of Power severely mysteriously returned from the dark ancestral realm, where they began their full transformation, where they have actually regained new dark powers and abilities of their own, and where Lord Clay exactly told Jet everything about the preparation and the plans, and Jet was not successfully very pleased or very happy with how things exactly began to turn out. In other words, it has completely, almostly jeopardized his alliance with the Order of Justice, with his partnership with Zuko's plans and with his goals, stating in other words that Clay needs to be demoted from his position, and Clay exactly was demoted from his position as well. On the 20th of October, Clay and the other rest of the projects began exactly planning up a way in order for him to form his new secret society, and decided to reassemble his new secret society, where they all come up with the sole agreement that it's best for them to reassemble their new secret society that has existed for many centuries ago, because one way or another, Lord Jet is going to successfully replace him and take a new protege to his wing known as Lord Mac, who will successfully become the new Lord of Magic next in line. There are the Dark Sisters and Lord Bradley and the other members of the projects of the Dark Sisters, of the new Lord of Magic and of the new Lord of Magics, and the rest of the other members of the Order of Powers projects successfully agreed that it's time for them to reassemble a group of their own that has existed for many centuries, which the Dark Sister began to tell Clay that this is going to create a friction between the new Lord of Magic's followers and with his followers, and the other dark magic, immortal, powerful magic users will be forced in order to choose who they serve now, which the friction between the two organizations is going to start showing a ripple effect to their enemies, and that won't be a good sign. Clay exactly reassured the Dark Sister that the friction between the followers of Lord Jet and between the followers of the Order of Death, who will completely be forced to choose sides between the new masters and leaders, was after all inevitable from the other side. That Lord Jet will completely replace Clay and choose Lord Mac to become his new protege and his new candidate to becoming the next new Lord of Magic in line. But despite that, it was always inevitable for that to successfully take place, as the Dark Sisters and Lord Bradley completely agreed that it's best for them to exactly begin their full plans and their full goals right away, right now. And they all agreed that it's time for their defection to begin showing a ripple effect, which, in other words, will create a major friction between the dark followers and the dark magic users who follow the Order of Power and the new Lord of Magic known as Lord Jet, and who also follow Lord Clay, who is also known as the new Lord of Magic as well, which will start showing a huge ripple effect as well. On the 20th of November, Lord Clay completely convened with the members of the Order of Death, as he reassured the members of the Order of Death through an ancient, powerful crystal dark temple that is quietly located from an unknown magical world and planet, where Lord Clay exactly welcomed the members of the Order of Death and stated to them that the organization's goals and society can now successfully bear fruit, meaning it's time for them to move forward with their greater plans and his long-term plans, as all of the members successfully agreed on that as well. On the 19th of December, Lord Clay held up a video conference with the members of the Order, held up a video conference with the Order of Death, stated to the Shadow Empire warlord and commander that he has done a brilliant and greater work than ever before, and that the members of the Order of Death are successfully proud and very successfully pleased of his work and his wondrous story, that he's officially loyal to the organization and to his new secret society, that in other words, he will make a greater beneficial member and a greater beneficial ally, as well as the Shadow Empire warlord reassured the members of the Order of Death that his loyalty lies towards Lord Clay and his organization, here and out and forever. On the 20th of January, Lord Clay completely began to reconvene with the members of the Order of Death on another ancient, powerful crystal dark temple that is quietly hidden from a very underground crystal dark cave, which maintains one of the bases of operation, where a powerful, dark, monstrous statue is in the middle of them, is in the middle of where the members are secretly, all of them, speaking together. The Dark Sisters exactly told the Dark Sisters were the members, were the current members, exactly told Lord Clay that the monster statue's power is beyond revival and that it might take years or time for the monster statue to be highly resurrected and to be highly revived into the creature that it needs to be. Despite that, Lord Clay exactly reassured the members of the Order of Death that the monster statue's power is well preserved and that it's time for them to begin their common goal and their common interest. Meaning, in other words, it's time for them to further their goal once and for all. On the 15th of February, Lord Clay and Lord Braggley began meeting up with the descendants of the Shadow Clan through a hidden ancient cave, which is one of their bases of operation that holds a very powerful shadowy shrine of the ancient Shadow Clan that used to exist many centuries ago. And the followers of the Shadow Clan told Lord Clay that everything else is proceeding according to plan, the way it's intended to be, and that everything else has begun its full mission and its full scope. Despite this, Clay was very reluctantly pleased and that things are finally beginning to take place. On the 20th of March, Clay completely convened with the members of the followers of the new Lord of Magic, as he completely announced himself to the rest of his followers by demonstrating his power, stated to the followers that they should rather follow him than to follow the new Lord of Magic. The dark magic users completely bowed down to Lord Clay and to the rest of the members of the Order of Death and completely showed their loyalty and their devotion to Lord Clay and to the rest of the members of the Order of Death. Despite this, Clay was successfully very proud and very successfully happy that the followers have decided to choose him than rather to choose to serve him rather to serve Lord Jet. Meaning, in other words, he has seen the ripple effect of the friction between the followers of Lord Jet and between the followers of Lord Clay that has quietly created a huge ripple effect as well. On the 15th of April, Lord Clay was able to convene with the Dark Druids and the Dark Witches and the Dark Faithful, and they completely told him that they did exactly as he commanded, to attacking and besieging the whole intergalactic coalition's basis of operation. But the Universal Magic Heroes and the Universal Magic Girl completely intervened and thwarted their successful plans and operation in order for them to successfully do so. Lord Clay exactly reassured the dark magic users and his followers that everything else is going the way it's intended to be. Now they've taken the bait. It's time for phase 2 to be initiated. On the 19th of May, Lord Clay held up a video conference with the members of the Order of Death and exactly told them that their preparations have come along and it's time for them to begin the first step. On the 15th of June, Lord Clay and the members of the Order of Death all secretly convened on a very powerful hidden cave of an ancient cave where they'll be able to secretly convene, where they completely began a secret ritual, a secret dark ritual, where they secretly began preparing for a secret dark negative ritual of energy, where they gave the monster statue its powers and its immortality back by trying to revive it and restoring it back to its natural habitat. Lord Clay exactly explained his motives and his goals to the newest members of the Order of Death, as he told them that the goals of the organization are to create chaos and destruction throughout the cosmos so that the Order of Death can successfully rule from it with an iron fist. So creating chaos on the other side and also to creating chaos on the one side, so that chaos would create fear, and fear would create destruction and total havoc between the supernaturals and between the aliens and between the superhumans of the sacred world. That by doing so, it'll benefit them as twice as it possible, so that they'll come in and exactly take control of that chaos and utilize their ultimate resources for their plans to successfully bear fruit in the process of their goal, which will be his ultimate goals The newest members of the Order of Death were very quietly intrigued by the plans of the organization, by the future plans of the organization and its long-term plans and goals. As Clay exactly started to explain the organization's goals and true long-term future goals and plans, meaning in other words, those are the goals and they will successfully bear fruit, as the members were all exactly certain that they're willing to make sure that those goals definitely bear fruit no matter what. On the 15th of August, Clay exactly met up with another ancient powerful being of a sacred creature, of a sacred being known as Mr. Shadow, who's a very, very, very shadowy ally, who's also an ally of the Order of Death in one of the greatest secretive dark worlds of the villagers and of the secretive nations, where Clay is quietly fully in control and he's revered as the savior of that nation and of that hidden nation and world, where the two duo were able to speak about their plans and their goal. Mr. Shadow exactly told Clay to never ever underestimate the universal heroes or the Intergalactic Coalition or the Four Nation Hunter, because they prove to be too dangerous now and to be too deadly, and that their interference is not something that should be taken lightly. Clay exactly reassured his newest ally that everything will go according to plan. As Mr. Shadow is about to leave the building, he exactly told Clay and his newest member that everything will be restored the way it's supposed to be, that all the plans and preparations will finally fall into place, and that the plans of the Order of Death and the plans of the Order of the Four will successfully bear fruit, and the sacred world and the sacred universe will know the power of Mr. Shadow, who is also known by another mysterious, secretive, ancient name as the sacred shadowy founder, who also existed for many centuries and for many years, and he completely disappeared when the lightning storm began to rain. The newest member of the Order of Death completely asked Lord Clay, is he completely fine after what Mr. Shadow exactly said? Lord Clay exactly told the newest member of the Order of Death that everything else is completely fine and that the plans will successfully bear fruit. Now it's time for them to begin with the alternative goals of their mission by dispatching the operatives and the agents to carry out their long-term mission and a goal as well. Despite this, guys, Lord Clay is very powerful, very skilled in dark magic, in the dark arts, and in the greater darker abilities in controlling and manipulating rain. His ability of levitation, his a greater super ability of levitation, the ability of magnetic repulsion of power, the ability of magnetic repulsion with power, and he possesses a greater powerful dark magical staff which he wields with an iron fist, and he controls it, which also acts as an anchor to his dark powers and his darker abilities than ever before. Despite this, he has lived for many centuries and for many, many years and throughout the ancient time, and due to his own gravity, he believes that he is destined to rule the sacred world and the sacred universe by creating chaos and fear among the supernaturals, aliens, and superhumans. He does actually believe in the goals of the original and in the new Lord of Magic, in annihilating and in wiping out the supernaturals and the aliens and the superhumans in the process, which is what he's willing to do in order to further his own plans and his goals. And he's very, very skilled in deception and in manipulative. He's a very super strategist, tactician. He has lived for centuries, very skilled in teleportation and also opening portals, very skilled in summoning, resurrection, using dark powerful magical orbs granted by him, to reading minds and also to seeing and sensing with abilities of sensing, super speed, telepathy, mind controlling, super speed, telepathy, and telekinesis, very skilled in telekinesis and especially in reading and drawing and absorbing and extracting energy and combining shadow energy and magic all in one, capable of summoning a powerful ancient monster statue that has been kept hidden from the sacred world's history for centuries and for many years. Even very, very powerful and strictly good, due to his own gravity, he forms powerful secretive alliances with other ancient formidable criminals such as Lord Bradley, the descendants of the Shadow Clan, who are his people, and the Dark Sisters, the Mind Sisters, and also the other powerful dark ancient criminals who have also lived throughout the sacred world for many centuries. He's very, very clever and intelligent, super strong, invincible, very formidable, very greater, and very, very powerful, not meant to be underestimated. According to the 4Nation Hunter database, Lord Clay is extremely ruthless, very ambitious, and very powerful. His ruthlessness and his merciless goals and his ambition makes him the dangerous and formidable foes and adversaries and adversaries of the 4Nation Hunters that has existed for many centuries and throughout the sacred world. He is also the descendant of the Shadow Clan, which in other words, he possesses the Shadow Clan's greatest, darkest, powerful ability to creating dark and powerful illusions, to creating and casting powerful, dark, greater illusions towards their enemies and towards the opponent as well, which makes him more dangerous and more powerful. He maintains his usual basis of operation due to him living for many centuries and for many years, and his central headquarters, which he keeps very, very secretive, as well as the other bases, as well as the rest of his other bases of operation, so that his organization and his secret society of his Illuminati can literally operate in full secrecy and in the shadows of the sacred world. He neutralizes the resources of his members and his associate in order to further his ultimate goal and plan to creating chaos, fear, and destruction towards the sacred world and towards the rest of sacred existence in order for him to remain the sole ruler. He's so very much competitive against the Universal Prince and against the Star Prince and against Red Bolt and against the members of the Order of the Five and against the members of the Galactic and against the members of the Sacred Circle, the Unholy Alliance, and the founders and the Order of the Six and the Order of the Seven. So very competitive against those other secretive societies, those other ancient groups of supervillains that also have lived and functioned for that also have operated for very, very much of a long time throughout the following centuries and many, many years of the sacred world. He learns the hard way that the universal heroes and the universal earth heroes and the world heroes' abilities in thwarting his operation and his abilities can never be underestimated. But he discovered that these heroes can also be useful to further his plans and his goal, which is where he decided to use them as pawns rather than to have them wiped out. He decided to use them as pawns to destroy his common competitors and his common enemy, which the universal heroes also share with him, and he decided to help them out in order to take out his common competitor out of the game, which will soon benefit his organization and himself and his associate as well in a long-term process. Very skilled in intelligence, manipulation, and very intelligent and very powerful, dangerous, very skilled in black magic and in the dark arts, and he's been granted the ability of transformation and the ability of shape-shifting at will. He's so powerful, extremely immortal, dangerous, powerful, genetical hybrid, and a long descendant of the Shadow Clan who has lived for centuries. Due to his bloodline of the Shadow Clan, he's very invincible and extremely immortal and very powerful. Lived for many centuries and for many, many years ago, and lived for many centuries and for many, many years throughout the modern ages of the sacred world and the modern ages of the world and the modern ages of the sacred universe and of the known universe. He's still actively alive, not meant to be underestimated. Due to his ruthlessness and to his merciless and to his ambition, he also learns to remain patient with his goals and with his mission and with these objectivities and with these common interests in order to study the situation and the enemies and the obstacles he's facing. He's very ambitious, ruthless, very heartless, and very determined in order to make sure his goals and future plans bear fruit. Despite this, he has an army and a very formidable army of powerful dark followers who now follow him due to him defecting from Lord Jet, who is also the new Lord of Magic, which has created a friction among the two organizations, the Dark magic users have decided to follow the masters that they fully believe are the destined rulers of the cosmos, and the others have also decided to follow the other masters who also believe who are also the destined ruler of the cosmos. Due to this, Clay feels very, very powerful and invincible and extremely immortal due to his superhuman philosophy, due to his superhuman physiology and to his supernatural physiology and to his alien physiology. He's a greater ancient being that has lived for many centuries and for many years, able to keeping his name and his existence concealed from sacred history and forming another formidable alliance with other Shadow Empire warlords and another secretive society known as the Order of the Four, which also maintains the cosmic balance of power that is quietly founded and led by another powerful ancient being, by another powerful ancient super criminal of an ancient being known as Mr. Shadow, who has been known by many names throughout sacred history, and who's also still highly operatable alive, and he has formed a secretive alliance with Clay, who is the new Lord of Magic and a founder and a leader of the Order of Death, who was also a former protege of Lord Jet. Well, guys, that's it for today's episode. I all hope you have a wonderful, great, blessed weekend. I will see you on next week, Monday. Take care of yourself and remember God loves you all, and be very happy and be very happy and stay happy and stay good. Appreciate your support. Like and subscribe in my channel and have a wonderful, blessed day. Those of you who are actually watching shorts, you will receive the shorts today, but those of you who are actually watching the long video on Friday, you'll receive it on Monday because I'm having a bit of a long-term problem in trying to upload it. So you'll receive it on Monday morning once I'm done downloading it, and also after all downloading the other next episode on Monday's episode. So all of you take care, have a blessed weekend. Love you all. Take care and have a blessed, great weekend. I'll see you on next week, Monday. Bye.